All right, so I'm Bharat. For those who can't pronounce it, you can call me anyhow you want. You can call me Twig. I'm Twig, okay? Like I'm Groot. I'm not a guardian of the galaxy, but I'm a guardian of the Dhamma. All right, so today I'm going to introduce the speaker, a good friend of mine, Kong, and he's going to talk about the brahmaviharas. For those who are not aware what brahmaviharas are, it actually means the abode of Brahma. Brahma is one of the Hindu gods and also one of the Buddhist gods, right? And it's supposed to be his mind state that we are trying to bring up here. And Metta is one of the mind states of Brahma, all right? That's why it's called brahmaviharas. And there are 3 other brahmaviharas that Kong, the speaker, will introduce. Anything else? Okay. Can you hear me well, everyone? Yeah, all good? Okay, great. So we are indeed recording, I believe. Then I set up the whole thing for us. It's all yours, Kong. Take it away.
Great. Thanks, Barrett, for the introduction. And it's very nice to see everyone here. I'm very honored to be here and to see a lot of laughter and the smile in the people's face. And I know that it will be a good time for all of us. And Barrett, tell me the flow of today will be like this. We will have a few minutes of meditation to get everyone mind settled down a little bit.
Yep.
And then we work on the sutta. As the topic today is how we should practice brahmavihara as the Buddha taught. And then we have a meditation to close everything up. During the sharing in the middle, please, if you have any question or if you have anything to say, just come in. Bharat called me a speaker, but it's just, I'm just one to be here as a host or whatsoever. It's just one who facilitates the discussion so everyone can learn from each other. And now I think we should take about 5 minutes to meditate to get our mind settled down. So do you guys need some guided meditation? I will do some guided meditation. Okay, Bharat.
Yeah.
Okay then, everyone please have a very comfortable sitting position. Sit in a position that comfortable to you. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. And close your eye. There are many things you want to do. There are many things you want to talk. Let's keep it for a while. Now it's the time to take some rest, to get the mind settled down. Please sit in a position that is comfortable to you. With the back and the neck slightly straight up. And you feel your whole body. Feel the sensation in the whole body. Put your attention in the whole body and relax. Let your whole body relax. Release. Soften. Feel your leg. You bottom your leg. Feel the sensation in there. And let both of your legs relax. soften. Release all the tension there. Feel your stomach and relax. Release. Soften. Feel the upper body, your chest. Relax. Get your chest relaxed. Soften. Feel your shoulder. Feel the sensation in the shoulder. And let it relax. Let it soften. Feel your lower back and soften it. Relax it. Feel the upper back. Feel the sensation in there. And relax. Soften. Release. Let all the tension release. Feel your arm, your elbow, your hand, your finger, and relax both of your hands. Feel your neck and let it relax. Feel your face, your cheek, your chin, your forehead, and relax. Soften. Now feel the whole body. Expand your awareness to the whole body. And let the whole body relax. Soften the whole body. And have a smile on your face, on your lip. Relax the whole body and smile. Smile in your lip. Smile in your eye. And smile in your heart. You enjoy this moment. Feel the whole body with a smile on your face. And relax. Feel that joyful sensation arise in the whole body. there's a joyful feeling appear in your heart and radiate to the whole body. And you immerse yourself in the joyful feeling, in the relaxing feeling. If your mind wander away with thoughts or any other things, it's okay. Just accept it. Recognize that your mind is wander away. Release attention from that. Relax the whole body. Smile again. And return to feel the whole body. Feel the whole body and relax. Let it soften. And expand your awareness a little bit further. Notice you can feel the whole body. You can feel the space around you. You feel the space and also your body. Light, easy, warm. And it's getting softened, lighter. And if thoughts arise and you wander away with it, just accept it. Do not push it away. Just simply do the 6R. Recognize that your mind is wander away. Release the attention from the thought. Relax the whole body. Smile. Return to feel the whole body. And repeat if your mind wander away again. If your mind wander away, recognize it wander away. Release your attention from it. Relax the whole body. Smile again. Return to feel the whole body. Feel the relaxing body. And repeat if your mind wander away. Let have joy arise in you. And take a deep breath in. Slowly breathe out. Softly. And open your eye. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Tom. You want to share your screen for the sutta, or how do you want to do that?
I can do it. It seems everyone's face is a little bit lighter. It's great to see that.
Let's see.
Oh, please let me share the screen.
And then just help us with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So now you can share the screen.
Let me try. Okay. That's it. May I ask everyone here is practicing metta or karuna or any kind of meditation that related to Brahma Vihara before? I hope that everyone is familiar with those kind of meditation. Anyone here is completely new to this meditation? May I see your hand if there is totally new here?
You can raise your virtual hand if you
raise your voice on your hand. Yes.
Right.
It's one person here.
One person here is new.
Oh, one person is new. Okay.
There might be
And
others.
Ian.
Yeah, Ian down. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So it means that everyone here is now the thing not to are very advanced with this type of meditation. Today we are talking about brahmavihara, the way we should practice according to the sutta. I'm sharing you guys here a sutta in the connected Samutaya Nikaya. It's quite advanced one. It shows the differences between what the Buddha taught and with other sects. Because Brahmavihara is not only belong to the Buddhism. I used to think that Brahmavihara meditation or metta meditation or compassion meditation or joy meditation is belong only to the Buddhism. Only the Buddhists know and practices. But I was wrong. Many other sects, many other spiritual path already practicing the Brahmavihara. But there's something different between what the Buddha taught with other sects. The approach is slightly different. So what is the difference? Today we will explore it through this sutta. And I hope that we have time enough to cover the whole sutta because it's quite long. Also, I hope that we have an interesting and joyful and fruitful conversation about this one. Okay, let me start with the sutta. Accompanied by loving kindness. Loving kindness is an English name for metta meditation. For metta. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling along the Koreans, where there was a town of the Koreans named Halidavasana. Then in the morning, a number of bhikkhus dressed and taking their bows and robes enter Halidavasana for alms. Then it occurred to them, it is still too early to walk for alms in Halidavasana. Let us go to the park of the wanderer of the other sect. Thence the bhikkhus went to the park of the wanderer of the other sect. They exchanged greeting with the wanderers, and when they had concluded the greeting and cordial talk, sat down to one side. So the context here is quite interesting. The bhikkhu wake up a little bit early before their breakfast, and then the thing that they have time, then they go to visit other sect, other person, other people who follow the spiritual path. I think it's quite different than us. When we wake up, we just do something and then we go to work immediately. It's not time for exchanging visit or anything like this. The wanderer then said to them, friend, the ascetic Gautama, teach the Dhamma to his disciple. Thus, come, bhikkhu, abandon the 5 hindrances, the corruption of the mind that weaken wisdom, and dwell pervading 1 quarter with might imbued with loving kindness. Likewise, the 2nd quarter, the 3rd quarter, and the 4th quarter, thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as to oneself, dwell pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with loving kindness, vast, exalted, measureless, without hostility, without ill will. Dwell pervading 1 quarter with might imbued with compassion. Likewise, the 2nd quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter, thus above, below, across, everywhere, and to all as to oneself, dwell pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with compassion, vast, exalted, measureless, without hostility, without ill will. Dwell pervading 1 quarter with might imbued with aristocratic joys. Likewise, the 2nd quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter, thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as oneself, dwell pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with joys, vast, exalted, measureless, without hostility, without ill will. Dwell pervading 1 quarter with a mind imbued with equanimity. Likewise, the 2nd quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter, thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as to oneself, dwell pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with equanimity, vast, exalted, measureless, without hostility, without ill will. So this is the instruction, and this is the question about the instruction of other sect. When you read this paraphrase, you can see that when they ask about the Brahmavihara, they mention about all 4 of the Brahmavihara as we know it: the Metta, the Karuna, the Mudita, and the Upekkha. And the instruction is pretty the same with all 4 Brahmavihara. Abandon the 5 hindrances, and then radiate or dwell pervading 1 quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, above, below, and everywhere, to everyone, to all being as to oneself. So the instruction of other sect, of this sect, for the Brahmavihara is the same, except that it changed the metta, like change the word like Metta to Karuna, to Mudita, to Upekkha. I'm sorry, I'm using the Pali word for the Brahmavihara. I hope that you guys all understand this. And if someone here is familiar with Brahmavihara or with Metta or some other sutta, you find this question or this instruction is pretty similar with what we are doing. When I was taught Metta meditation, I was taught that I should radiate it in the front, in the back, in the left, in the right, above, below, and then radiate Metta to everywhere. Some of you guys here might get the instruction that you have a person, a human being, or some animal, and to radiate Metta to it. Am I correct? So this is basically the 2 approach to practice or to develop the Metta. Also, it's pretty like a Karuna or Mudita or Upekkha. And then the question is quite interesting here. We 2 friends teach the Dhamma to our disciple, thus they repeated the same instruction. So friend, what here is the distinction, the disparity, the differences between the ascetic Gautama and us, that is regarding the one Dhamma teaching and the other, or regarding the one manner of instruction and the other. What does this question mean? How do you guys think? What is the distinction, the disparity, the difference between the authentic Gautama and us? That is regarding the one Dhamma teaching and the other, or regarding the one manner of instruction and the other. Because they practice very similar to us. And in many other sutta, the instruction to practice Brahma Vihara is pretty the same. So the question is quite really legitimate. It means that, okay, you practice like us, so what is the difference? It is the difference in the spiritual part is different, or the instruction is different. One Dhamma teaching, it means that the whole spiritual part. What is the spiritual part? Spiritual part is, for example, if you are a Buddhism, you follow the Eightfold Noble Path. It wants a spiritual part. If you follow some Taoism or yogic, it's also another spiritual part. Each of the spiritual path has its different ultimate goal. Also, the technique and the system is different. The end goal is different, so the paths also need to be different. That's why they ask like this. Is the spiritual path different, or the instruction is different? And all of you here is practicing Brahma Vihara, and many of you here is very familiar with Buddhism, familiar with the Eightfold Noble Path and the Four Noble Truths, and even very advanced with this type of meditation. When you get this kind of question, how will you respond? What is different? How do you think? If other person practicing Brahma Vihara or practicing Metta does like you, and they ask the same question to you, oh, I'm not a Buddhism. I'm also practicing Metta. The way I'm practicing Metta like this, I radiate to 1 quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, and to everywhere. So what is the difference between us? If you had that question, how would you respond?
Great question. Does anybody have any inputs or thoughts, reflections on that one? Sof says, is it the Noble Eightfold Path that is different? But the technique is the same, I'm assuming. That's what Sof means.
Yes, that's our assumption, our first impression, our first answer that come up in the mind. But let's see what's going on with the sutta. And let's see what the Buddha will respond to this. Then the bhikkhus neither delighted in or rejected the statement of the wanderer. Without delighting in it, without rejecting it, they rose from their seat and left thinking. We shall learn the meaning of this statement in the presence of the Blessed One. So basically it means that most of the bhikkhu, some of them might have the answer, but most of them, just like us, okay, I do not know. I come back to ask the teacher whether his opinion on this. Then when the bhikkhus had walked arms in Vipassana and had returned from the arm rounds, after their meal, they approached the Blessed One. Having paid homage to him, they sat down to one side and reported to him the entire discussion between the wanderer and themselves. The Blessed One said, Bhikkhu, when wanderer of other sects speak thus, they should be asked, friends, how is the liberation of the mind by loving kindness developed? What does it have as its destination, its culmination, its fruit, its final goal? How is the liberation of the mind by compassion developed? What does it have as its destination, its culmination, its fruit, its final goal? how's the liberation of mind by altruistic choice developed? What does it have as its destination, its culmination, its truth, its final goals? How's the liberation of the mind by equanimity developed? What does it have as its destination, its culmination, its truth, its final goal? Being asked thus, the wearer would not be able to reply. Further, they would met with vexation. For what reason? Because that would not be within the domain. I do not see anyone bhikkhus in this world with its Deva, Mara, and Brahma, in this generation with its ascetics and Brahmin, Deva, and humans, who could satisfy the mind with an answer to the question, except the Tathagata, or a disciple of the Tathagata, or one who has heard it from them. When you first heard this power, this counter question, the answer of the Buddha, how do you think? My first impression is quite arrogant. It's only the Buddha and his disciple know the answer. No one else know, even the Brahma himself. This is called brahmavihara, and even the Brahma do not know. Quite arrogant. That's my first impression. But well, if you read it further and you have some taste of the Dhamma, you will know that yes, it is like this. The Buddhas only say the truth. It's not arrogant. He does talk about the truth. It's only the person who already walk in the Eightfold Noble Path or already liberated, or the one who heard it, know the difference. Okay. So the counter question that Buddha asked, what it is, he asked two things. Should be asked back how it is developed. Please consider this. How is the liberation of the mind is developed, and what is its destination, its culmination, its fruit, and its final goal. So basically, what the Buddha want to ask? How do you think? He didn't ask about he didn't ask about how the metta developed, how the metta feeling is developed. He didn't ask about how the karuna feeling is developed. He didn't ask about the upekkha feeling developed. He asked about the liberation of the mind by metta, the liberation of mind by karuna, the liberation of the mind by joy, by mudita, and by upekkha. So it means that in terms of developing the metta brahma, developing the brahma vihara, it's not just about the developing the feeling. It's about developing the liberation of the mind. This is one of the difference. And second, each of this development has its goal, has its destination. So basically mean that when you practice brahmavihara, for example, when you practice metta, or you practice karuna, or you practice metta, mudita, it has a destination. It has an end goal. It does not mean that you just it means that it has a destination. You cannot go further than its destination. And he will explain it further in this sutta. And another thing I want to mention about this is normally in nowadays most of us only practicing metta. We rarely practice compassion. Some of the practitioners also practice karuna or compassion. Little practice joy, and little practice or few ones practice upekkha. But in the sutta, all of the 4 Brahma Vihara almost always mentioned in the same place. Only few sutta that make it separated. When talking about Brahma Vihara, the Buddha or every other disciple also mention all 4. They do not mention it separated. Only, I think it's in the whole Nikayas, only 2 or 3 sutta that mentioned Metta alone. That's an interesting thing. And also, the way we practice it is pretty the same, as you see in this sutta. And now the Buddha explained it further. And how bhikkhu is the liberation of mind by loving kindness developed. What does it have as its destination, its culmination, its fruit, its final goal? Here, a bhikkhu developed enlightenment factor of mindfulness accompanied by loving kindness. Here's bhikkhu developed the enlightenment factor of Dhamma investigation accompanied by loving kindness. A bhikkhu developed the enlightenment factor of energy accompanied by loving kindness. Bhikkhu developed the enlightenment factor of tranquility accompanied by loving kindness. A bhikkhu developed the enlightenment factor of collectedness accompanied by loving kindness. And bhikkhu developed enlightenment factor of equanimity accompanied by loving kindness, based upon seclusion, dispassion, and cessation, maturing and release. If he wishes, may develop perceiving the repulsive in the unrepulsive, he develop perceiving the repulsive therein. If he wishes, may develop perceiving the unrepulsive in the repulsive, he develop perceiving the unrepulsive therein. If he wishes, may I develop perceiving the repulsive and the in the repulsive, and in the repulsive, he develop perceiving the repulsive therein. If he wishes, may I develop perceiving the unrepulsive in the repulsive, and in the unrepulsive, he develop perceiving the unrepulsive therein. If he wishes, avoiding both the unrepulsive and the repulsive, may I dwell equanimously, mindful and clear comprehending. Then he dwelt therein equanimously, mindful and clear comprehending. Or he then entered and dwelt in the division of beautiful. Bhikkhu, the liberation of mind by loving kindness, had the beautiful as its culmination. I say for a wise bhikkhu here, who has not penetrated to the superior liberation. So for the whole paragraph that's read, there's 2 parts in this. The first part is about how the Metta developed. The Buddha talk and teach about how the Metta developed. And the last part is about how about the angle of the Metta meditation, or the one who practice Metta feeling. This paragraph is also repeated with all of the other Brahma Vihara. For example, the instruction to practice compassion is very the same, but the destination is slightly different. It's different. The instruction for practicing the joy, the artistic joys, is the same, but the destination of practicing joys is different. And last, for the equanimity, the instruction is pretty the same. The difference is only the end goal. It means that if you're practicing equanimity, the end goal is by completely transcending the base of infinite of consciousness, aware that there is nothing. He enter and dwell in the base of nothingness. Bhikkhu, the liberation of mind by equanimity has the base of nothingness as its culmination. I say for a wise bhikkhu here who has not penetrated to the superior wisdom. Okay, Let's turn back to the loving kindness, to the metta, and let's come back to the instruction. We mentioned about the end goal later. Here's the instruction of the Buddha. This is the difference between the one who follow the Eightfold Noble Path and the one who do not follow the Eightfold Noble Path. As you might see here, the liberation of the mind by loving kindness developed. What here, bhikkhu? A bhikkhu developed the 7 enlightenment factor. I make it in some. I do not repeat each of the enlightenment factor. I make it in some. Should develop the 7 enlightenment factor accompanied by loving kindness based upon seclusion, dispassion, cessation, maturing in release. So we have few things here. In order to practice the metta meditation as the Buddha taught, according to the Eightfold Noble Path, it should develop the 7 enlightenment factor. It basically also means that it should fulfill the 4 foundations of mindfulness. It should base upon the seclusion. It should lead to dispassion and cessation, and it should maturing in release. So what does it mean? What does all of these things mean? In a very simple way to describe, and from practical point of view, it does mean that when you're practicing metta, you should be able to observe everything. You should see the way things operate, the way things comes and go, and your mind get detached to it. You can see it come and go. You should see the anicca in everything. You should see the anatta in everything. You should see the dukkha in everything. So basically mean that with us using the metta meditation or the metta feeling, thus an object to train the mind to get it calmer, brighter, lighter, to see things the way they are. If you practice metta meditation or any kind of objects like karuna or mudita or upekka, if it helps you get the mind calmer, lighter, equanimity, to see things clear the way they are, you go on the right track. Why get like that? As you might see here, the Eightfold Noble Path, the end goal of what we do, what is the goal of the Buddhism path? Have you guys here have heard about the goal of the Buddhism? This path has a goal, has an ultimate goal. It's not a meditation. The whole spiritual path has an end goal. What is the end goal?
Release.
Release. The end goal of us is Buddhism, is the cessation of suffering. It's very simple. Sometimes we can say that in a lot of technical term and different way, but it does very simple. To see the dukkha, to see the suffering, to see the cause of the suffering, and to release and to cease every cause of the suffering. It means that we come to the end of suffering. We no longer suffer. That's it. The end goal is, the ultimate goal is the cessation of suffering. And how we do that? We do that by directly see what is the suffering. What is the suffering? How do you experience suffering in life and in meditation? or I think we should say in Pali word is a dukkha, because suffering is kind of strong word. Dukkha in Pali has a different meaning than in the dukkha. In the suffering is quite heavy, but dukkha in the way we use, the way it is this unsatisfactory, very slightly unsatisfactory to the despair, to the very strong emotion like despair, think of suicidal thinking or distress or whatsoever. It's quite a long range. How do we know that we are suffering? How do we recognize that we are suffering? How do we recognize that there is suffering, there's dukkha? Have you guys ever experienced dukkha?
Day in, day out. So, Kong, we have a question here.
Yes.
What is the difference between cessation and maturing and release, as the Buddha explains it here?
What is the difference between the cessation and maturing and release? Honestly, it's pretty the same. Releasing all of the suffering, release all of the cause of suffering.
I have one question here.
Yes.
In this paragraph, Buddha is saying that he's using loving kindness as a meditation object, right?
Yes.
The key is to use it as a meditation object to develop the enlightenment factor, and that they will lead them to the path of liberation, so nibbana, right, with cessation and the release.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, how does Brad, what about other meditator that uses the loving kindness not as a meditation object the way Buddha taught? Were they any idea, were the Brahmins just reading loving kindness as pushing out? How did they start? Any idea? Well, how they do their meditation with loving kindness without the way we are doing, not the same as the way we're doing it? How do they do it?
Actually, I do not know, honestly.
Okay.
Metta meditation, brahmavihara meditation is not just in the Buddha. It's not just happen in it's not just appear in the Buddha time. It's a very ancient technique. Even in one sutta, the Buddha mentioned that he practiced brahmavihara for lots and I mean the countless of eons before his awakening. So it basically means that state of meditation, now this type of meditation, been there for a long time. The difference is that the way we practice, as the Buddha taught, we just using it as a tool to develop the 7 awakening factor, to get the mind lighter, brighter, calmer, to see things the way they are, to see the suffering, to see the attachment when it arises, to see the suffering as it arises, to see the cause of the suffering when it arises, to know it, to relax and to release it. And as you might add, many of you also practice meditation. And if you're familiar with what the Bhante Vimalaramsi said, or the way Bhante Vimalaramsi thought about meditation, we add, not like other person who practicing brahmavihara, we add the siksa to it. The siksa cause the mind to not get attached to the feeling. Because I think most of you here, when we first practicing brahmavihara or practicing metta, we have a different goal, or even we do not have any goal when practicing brahmavihara. We thought, okay, the teacher told us that we should practice metta, we practice it. Or the teacher told that, oh, this is a very good meditation, you will feel good. You will feel much better when you practice this. You can support the world with this type of meditation. You can radiate the loving feeling to many kind of other beings. And the atmosphere and the vibration around you will be very, very good. Practice this. And that's the way everyone practices it. And even to me, at first I tried meditation, metta meditation, as a tool to improve the state of mind. But it's not the end goal. The purpose of the metta meditation taught by the Buddha, we should bear in mind that we practice it to develop the 7 awakening factors, to see the thing as it is, to see the suffering when it arises, to see the cause of suffering when it arises, to know how to relax and to release, to end up maturing and release, to get the cessation. That's the end goal. That's the difference from what I saw here.
Another question from Saul. What's
Yes.
the difference between abiding in the Brahmavihara and being mindful of Brahmavihara?
There's a little bit different, or it's a really big difference. For one who practice metta with abiding in it, or dwell in it, or immerse oneself in it, their mind or his mind will immerse totally in the Brahma, in the metta feeling, or the karuna feeling, or the mudita feeling. They will be the one with the feeling. They will feel they and the metta is the one, it's the same thing, and get it immersed with everything around. That's a very, very good and pleasant, very, very pleasant experience. But if we use it as a tool, and it means that if you using 6R in the way you practice, when you might wander away or you might get attached to the feeling, the 6R, and you will aware that there's a feeling of metta. The radiation, the metta will radiate or expand it to everywhere, to the, maybe sometimes it's entire world. You aware of it, you aware of the expansion, but still a detachment toward the feeling. It's not the same, it's not the one dwell in it, it is the one got detached to the feeling. You feel that the metta or the karuna or the brahmavihara radiate everywhere, but there's still the detachment. You can observe everything in it. But when you are with the metta, one with the metta, it's very hard to see things. That's the difference.
Is it right to say that we allow the metta to happen rather than become the metta?
Yes, we are not become the metta. We allow the feeling be there itself. Yes, using the right word. To get the brahmavihara there by itself. We are not the one with the feeling. Again, let's come back with the sutta. Based upon seclusion, what does it mean? It means that, how do you guys think, based upon the seclusion, based upon the dispassion, and based upon the cessation? That's what I just tell in simply what before, but how do you guys think? Seclusion, dispassion, and cessation.
So a
and
follow-up
material.
question, Kong. So does that mean you're aware of metta as an object of focus, similar how other mind objects arise? Similar to how other mind objects arise.
Yes. It means that, yeah, when we practice metta meditation, a breath, or I can say, or other object like breath, you are not with the breath, you're not totally in the breath, or you are not totally in the feeling of the metta. The breath is there by itself as an object. We just rest our attention to it, rest our mind on it. The same with the feeling of the metta. When the metta feeling raise it, you just let it be there by itself. It can radiate, or it does be there. We just let it be there. So when we're using the object like this, other things in the mind, it means the Dhamma, other thing will arise. The hindrance will arise. The thought will arise. The attachment will arise. And by that, we can see how all the thing raises. We will recognize it when it raises, when we recognize it when it's passing away, and we recognize the characteristic of it, because things, only when you see it by ourselves in experience, we can only know it. Oh, things are anicca, because it's come and it goes by itself. We do not invite it. It does come and it does go. Thought come and thought go. Even the metta feeling, when you practice it, when you practice the metta, sometimes it automatically turn into the karuna. Sometimes it automatically turn into the mudita. And then when you practice further, it automatically turn into the upekkha. And if you go a little bit further and deeper, even the upekkha feeling disappear. The mind no longer interested in anything, even the brahmavihara. All of the feeling will come and go by itself. We do not do anything. It's the anatta. Things come and go by itself. Only by practicing like this, only by observing like this, we can understand it directly, what is happening and how it's happened. So that's the difference between what the Buddha taught and other sects.
Great answer,
Yes.
Kong. We have a question here about seclusion. Is it seclusion from the five senses that the Buddha is talking about?
Yes.
So can I add a follow-up question to that? How do we seclude ourselves from the senses? They're always bombarding us in all directions. We can even hear other people sneeze while meditating, for instance, if we are in a Dhamma hall. So what kind of seclusion is this?
We're talking about the seclusion. First, we need to talk about the sila. For many other sects, for many other meditators or many spiritual paths, they do not care much about the morality or the sila. It means that's the good thing and the bad thing and the right and the wrong thing. Seclusion first based upon the sila. Basically, you seclude from the unwholesome action. You must have a very strong foundation of morality, strong foundation of sila, before you can effectively practicing any type of meditation taught by the Buddha, especially the metta feeling. Because the metta feeling is quite a joyful, is quite, what can I say, is quite joyful one, is very positive one. When you have a metta feeling, you feel very light, joy, and happy. It's very hard to get it raised when you did a lot of bad things to other people. Your mind will get a lot of agitation, a lot of hatred, and a lot of anger in it. It is very, very hard to get the metta raised to practice. So seclusion first is based on the sila. Strong sila is a requirement to practice in order to practice any type of meditation taught by the Buddha, especially the brahmavihara. Second, if you practice metta meditation, you will find out that when you are very busy, you want to sit down to practice metta, only thing you get will be like a dizzy feeling. You find a lot of headache. Have you guys faced that before? You've got a busy day. You've got a lot of work. You want to sit down. You want to sit a little bit. You want to sit down to get the mind calmer, to get some joyful feeling. And you start with the metta. After 10 minutes, after 15 minutes, after 20 minutes, you got a lot of headache. You got even tired than before. And you feel, oh, this is not a good thing. Because there's a lot of things happening in the mind and in the body. It does not have enough seclusion. It needs to get the metta feeling erased. That's why before practicing metta meditation, you should take about 5 minutes to relax the whole body, to relax the mind, to get the mind a little bit calmer. And then smile a little bit. So it's easier to get the metta feeling erased. And honestly, sometimes I cannot, for me personally, when I'm too tired or too busy, I'm using a different object. I cannot use metta feeling.
Great answer. Great answer, Kong.
Yes.
A lot of thumbs up from the audience. And somebody's asking, is it seclusion from the 5 hindrances that the Buddha is talking about here?
Yes. It's a good question. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention about this. Normally, when we practice, we used to suppress the hindrance. But by practicing like what the Buddha taught, we accept the hindrance. We accept everything that arises. And then when the mind gets a little bit quiet, it will automatically getting secluded from the hindrance. The hindrance will subside temporarily, and the mind will get seclusion from it temporarily. It's not suppressing. It will come up during the meditation. But when we accept it, we accept it, it will gradually reduce, and the mind get secluded from it automatically, gradually, not suppressing. That's what the Buddha mean by abandoning the hindrance. It's not about suppressing, abandoning the 5 hindrance in the way Buddha taught is just accept it the way it is. Just relax, release, let it be there, and then it will pass away by itself. And seclusion also means that when you meditate, you should sit in a place that do not have a lot of noise and a lot of attention from other people. Try some secluded place. It is easier.
We have another question. Kong.
Yes.
Thank you for that. When you can't get the metta feeling, can you practice sending metta to oneself and to a spiritual friend? So it's not waiting for metta to arise, rather connecting with the feeling proactively.
This is a very practical question. It's a very good one. Yeah, it's a very practical one. We cannot get the metta feeling erased. The way we do it, that's we create the condition to the metta feeling to arise by itself. We cannot create anything. we can only put some intention in order to get the right condition to anything to arise. For example, when you want to be in the jhana we cannot go into the jhana. We just create the condition so the jhana can come by itself. It is anatta. So what is the condition for the metta feeling easy to the metta feeling to arise? The body, the mind should be light, should be relaxed, should be released. For the whole body and the mind should be very light. The smile should be in your face, because when the mind is in your face, your mind and your body will be lighter. When you remember a good memory, or you remember the smile on your son, or your pet, or anything that create relate to some good feeling, we create a lot of conditions like that in order to get the metta feeling easier to arise. For example, another thing is when we repeat the phrase like, may I be happy, it does a condition to get the metta feeling arise easier. So we do everything, many things, to get the metta feeling easier to arise. Relax the whole body, to get the mind and the body settle down. We smile to get the mind lighter. We're using the phrase like, may I be happy, may I be joyful. We remember the old good past memory. It's all of the condition to get the metta feeling easier to arise. And all the things we do like that, if we do all the things that the metta cannot arise, just accept the fact that it is not a good time for the metta feeling arise. This, for me, a time like that with us, relax and release, to tranquilize the bodily formation. And that's it.
Very appropriate answer, Kong. Another follow-up comment, which I want to turn into a question, is if metta doesn't arise, then probably forgiveness is another practice to make it arise?
Yes, it might be. It might be. It depends on a lot of, it depends a lot. For example, when you're too busy, you're very, 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 very tired. Metta feeling is very hard for metta feeling it's hard for the metta feeling arise. You should rest, you should take a nap, take a shower. But the condition is right, and the metta feeling cannot arise. You can consider practicing forgiveness meditation. This is quite a personal, honestly. It very depends on the person and the condition the person faces.
Thank you, Kong. Can I ask you a personal question? You might choose not to answer it. You said you would use a different object if metta doesn't work for you. What is that object?
For most of the time, I'm using, in case I cannot use metta, I just use the forgiveness when I know that is the right time to practice. Or I just use what we call is the relaxation. Relaxing the whole body, just feel the whole body, relax the whole body, feel the whole body, relax the whole body. It's a very simple thing. For about 20 minutes, just relax the whole body. And after that, I will easily get one of the brahmavihara arise and then continue the work.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for the tip. And another person comments that he often goes for long walks in nature and meditates at the end of the walk. And he finds it very effective as the body and the mind have settled down and he can dwell in peace and harmony. But taking long walks and a hot shower might also help.
Yes.
And another comment is doing it at the end of the day is not very effective for me personally because I often fall asleep because I'm tired.
So, I think I say I said similar thought with this question. First of all, we should be aware of the aim. It means the purpose of why we are practicing meditation. The ultimate goal of the Metta of brahmavihara meditation, as the Buddha taught, is to the end goal, to the nibbana, to the cessation. That's the end goal. That does not mean that every time we have to follow this purpose, to follow this ultimate goal. There are times we are using meditation for different purposes. For example, just for feel good. Why not? Or just to enjoy life more. Or just feeling better. Or just supporting other person. We can use metta feeling to support other person. When they are suffering, when they're meeting with trouble, we can use metta meditation to support them. When we're practicing metta like this, we do not follow according to the Buddha thoughts, but that's fine. Because it's not any time, everywhere, we have to follow the path, the ultimate goal. We can spend time dedicating to ultimate goal, but in daily life, the most important thing is taking the wholesome action, having the wholesome mind, having the wholesome intention, living a harmonious and wholesome life. That's ultimate goal of the daily life, not the ultimate goal of the spiritual part. Those things are slightly different. So in terms of that, sometimes I prefer taking a good shower, taking a good nap, taking a good exercise over meditation. When I'm too tired, honestly, I do not meditate. I exercise first, I take a rest first, and then when my mind and my physical body get a little bit balanced, I practice meditation. It's much more effective that way.
The key word is being effective in daily life, and you shared some wonderful tips for us to not take the path too seriously. Why not dwell in harmony and just in pleasant abiding with the metta? That's your take on it. And somebody comments that thank you so much for your insightful, honest, and very practical sharing with us. Really appreciate it and wonderful. And with that, Kong, may I ask you if you would like to lead another metta meditation session as the Buddha would teach, and that would end the session for us. And if we have further questions, we can entertain them.
So you mean that now we will take some meditation?
That's right. That's right. And if there are no more questions, we finish the session.
That's a good one. Okay, if you do not have any question, I think we should take about 1 or 2 minute break. You guys should stand up, do some movement to stretch the body, to stretch to drink some water, and then we do small meditation session. It's really much more effective. Okay, let's take a break about 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Absolutely. And can we share merits to everyone, including our late teacher, Bhante Vimalaramsi? And for those who are not aware, Bhante Vimalaramsi, who created this technique called tranquil wisdom insight meditation, he passed away last week at an old age of about 80. And we would like to also dedicate merits to Bhante at the end of it.
Should we do it after the meditation?
Yep. So we take a break for a minute and then stretch our legs, move, and then come back for a mini meditation on Metta.
Okay. Okay. We will sit for how many time we have?
How about 10 minutes?
About 10 minutes. Okay, I'll try. But I think 10 minutes is not enough. Let's get the mind relaxed and releases. I do not think it's enough to get the metta arise in everyone.
That's fine. We could do 15 or 20. It's fine.
Okay, I think I will focus more on the relaxing the whole body. Get your mind and all of the mind of everyone here is a little bit lighter. Instead of trying to get the metta erased. The metta will erase by itself naturally, if the condition is right. So thus consider this session like kind of a experiment, or thus having fun with it. If anything arises, it's good. If anything not arise, it's still very, very good. Let's enjoy the time we meditate here. Okay, everyone. And now please have a seat. Take a very comfortable position. Sit in a very comfortable position to you. There's things you have to do. There's things still had in your mind. You had in your mind. But let's keep everything for a while. Now it is a time to enjoy yourself, to relax, to release, to take a rest. Thus be here to be with yourself. We will spend a few minutes next to practice metta meditation. And let things happen by itself. Just enjoy it. You take a deep breath in and breath out lightly. Take a breath in and breath out lightly. Put your attention to the whole body. Feel your whole body. Feeling your body from head to toes. Let it relax. Let it open up. Let it soften. Open your awareness to the whole body. And relax everything. Release everything. Soften everything. Relax your leg, your thigh, your whole lower body. Let it relax. Let it rest. let it release. There's nothing for it to do. Just relax to release. Feel your stomach. Feel your chest. And let it relax. Relax your front body. Let it relax. Let it soften. Feel your back, your lower back, your upper back, and relax. Feel your spine and relax it. Let it soften. Let it get loose. Feel your shoulder. Relax it. Soften it. Let your whole body relax. Feel your face. Feel your lip. And make a smile into your lip. Smile. Let the corner of your lip light up, lift up a little. Let's have a good smile in your lip, in your eye, in your heart. There will be some growth sensation in the body. Sometimes it's itchy. Sometimes it's hot. Or a lot of tension in the body. Just let it be there. You simply relax. Let everything be there. You just feel the body and relax and smile. Maybe your attention will get caught by some thought or some pain in the body. You recognize it. You release the attention from the pain in the body or the thought. You relax the body. You smile. And you return to feel the whole body. Now, remember a very pleasant memory you ever experienced, a very happy one to you. Let the memory comes up, rise. It might be when you're successful with something, or it's simply you look at a child sleeping, or the cat napping. That's good. And when the memory comes up, also it comes again. Also it comes with a pleasant feeling. The feeling might be pleasant, might be light, might be warm. Feel the feeling. You feel yourself inside the feeling. Inside the warm, inside the pleasant feeling. And wish to yourself, may I be happy. May I be joy. May I be at peace. You feel the feeling. And wish to yourself, may I be happy. And if your mind wander away, that's okay with it. If that's the way it is, you just accept the fact the mind will wander away. You recognize it, you release attention from the thought, you relax the body, you smile, you return to the pleasant feeling, and repeat if the mind wander away again. May I be happy. If your mind wander away, accept it, release attention from it, relax the body, we smile, and return to the feeling. And now you put your attention again, feel your whole body, feel your face, feel your eye, feel your smile, and let your eyes open.
Thank you so much, Con. That was a wonderful session. There's another question that we missed earlier. Can we get to that? Is it also that metta, loving everything unconditionally, accepting everything, or having less judgment and mental activity, leads to more relaxation and stillness and dispassion?
Okay, I will metta loving. Oh no, it's not really like that. In theory, we can say that when we love everything unconditionally, we will accept everything. We easy to get relaxed and released. But practically, it's not an easy thing, or practically, it's quite impossible. Unless we are an awakened being. In here, we just treat metta, thus a feeling, as an object of meditation, thus like breath, thus like sensation. It does an object to develop our mind, to help our mind develop the wholesome quality, and to help our mind to see things the way as it is. It's not about loving everything. That's a feeling. The loving everything unconditionally is that's the way we talk about it in a theory way, in theoretically way.
Thank you, Con. Before we close the session, I would like to thank you for your valuable time and insights. And everybody loved the meditation today. A lot of comments about the meditation and being quite light. We all enjoyed it. So can we share some merits to Bhante Vimalaramsi and in general before we close the session?
Yes. Okay, let's take some minute sharing the merit. When you are sharing the merit, like usual, please think about Bhante Vimalaramsi. If anyone here is familiar with him, let us work on the similar way, to the usual way. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving set on relief, and my own beings find relief. My own beings share this merit, thus we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kind of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, Deva and Nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha dispensation. And may Bhante Vimalaramsi share this merit of ours. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Wonderful. That was wonderful. So I would like to announce a few things before we close. This is the Brahmaviharas month, right? Kong shared about Metta, and next week we have Duckcraft, a speaker who is going to share about Mudita. And the following weeks, we're going to have each person talk about one of the Brahmaviharas. So it's not going to be based on this particular sutta. It's going to be more freestyle next time around. But this sutta gave you the flavor of what actually the Buddha meant by cultivating the Brahmaviharas. And also, we have a weekend retreat coming. And if Soph or Alice can help me post the link to that, that'll be wonderful. So it's a 2-day non-residential retreat at the Metta Center. And I think it's also available hybrid. Yes. So if you can't join in person, you can join over Zoom, but please do register for that if you're coming in person. Otherwise, we have another lineup of events coming in for next month. We have another retreat at the Karuna Center, if I remember correctly. It's on August 19th and 20th, right? It's a weekend retreat. But that one is a residential retreat, a one-day stay over there, one-night stay over there. Yeah, and it's free, right? And we have another retreat that is planned in November. I'm going to keep that secret. So if you guys keep attending these talks, you will get to know. In November, we have a 9-day planned, a 9-day TWIM retreat. TWIM is Tranquil Wisdom Inside Meditation. Precisely the technique that Kong shared us with today, the 6 hours. And yeah, that's about it. And all these things are available for free, but I think the 9-day retreat is going to be with a bit of upfront payment. But that's about it. Does anybody have anything else to share? So, Alice, did I miss out on anything?
I think you've covered the main one. Oh yeah, the Metta convention.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we have a week of events starting September 25th until that weekend that ends on October 1st, right? So it's going to be a blast, and it's going to be in person. A lot of things. The whole week is planned with a lot of fun activities and not just Dhamma talks. So do join us for the Metta convention. And again, if one of you can post the link to that, that'll be wonderful. All right. Anything else to share from your side, Kong?
I doesn't have few words. If anyone here haven't practiced Metta or Brahmavihara as the way Buddha taught, please take some time to learn it, try it. It's a very good one, honestly. It's feel very good. It's feel good meditation, honestly. And the way to learn it, I hope you guys learn it from Dhammasukha Center. Or as Brother said, there will be a twin retreat. We try to follow, the 6 hours is not mentioned in the sutta, honestly. Sometimes we can say it's an invention of Bhante Vimalaramsi, but it's not like that. It does the tool that we apply the principle listed in the sutta. It's easier for people to practice it. It does like that. We try to follow as close to the sutta as possible. And in order to really understand the meditation, this few minutes like this is not enough. And talking about this is not enough. You should learn it and you should try it to see for yourself. And I hope that everyone will spend some time learning and practicing it. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I hope that everyone enjoyed the session here. Thank you very much for being here.
Well said, Kong. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That was really wonderful. You really made us feel comfortable about everything. Thank you so much.